Good evening, and good evening. We are going to go ahead and get ready to jump right into this. I see that we have a few people already joining in. So if you're here, whoever you are, just please go ahead and say hello in the chat room. I am your lady, reigning woman, and I am so happy, of course, to be here tonight. I don't know what this thing is right here. It's kind of wow. What is this light? I guess it's a reflection. Anyway, so it dawned on me earlier that in going through gratitude, doing a release of things as we're going through it instead of waiting until the end. So, we have done, before I continue on with any more of the gratitudes, I'm going to do a recap and a release from days 1 through 5 of the previous days. So, and the reason why I want to do that is because, excuse me, the reason why I want to do that is because sometimes when we are being grateful, some things come to mind that is in opposition of what we're grateful for. And sometimes they don't come to mind at the moment. However, thank you, Spirit of Truth. Welcome. Good evening. God bless you, by the way. How are you? And so sometimes they don't come into play or come to mind right away. But a conversation can happen throughout the day or thereafter and regarding something that we talked about being grateful for. And it can cause you to get into complaining, or it can be a reminder of something that was painful to you or didn't quite feel good or didn't quite make you happy to keep you grateful, right? So going back over day one, we said that we were grateful, right, for life, for living, being alive. What we're going to release with being grateful and our gratitude for life is we're going to be releasing anything. Yes, your turn. Awesome sauce. We're going to be releasing anything that from our past or about us being alive regarding kind of issues, family issues, things not being so perfect, growing up, anything like that. We're going to release that parents not being as present, anything, right? Feeling like you didn't have the right kind of environment growing up, or not having all of kind of the love and attention that you would have liked growing up, anything like that, we're going to release those things while we're being grateful for life. I know sometimes people have issues and focus a lot on an absentee parent and struggle. Shall I say they struggle with having an absentee parent in their life, um, or a loss of a parent early on in life. And sometimes those experiences they tend to linger on through our adulthood, and they affect other relationships that we have, and they affect how we feel about ourselves. They affect our confidence. They affect our how we feel about life in general sometimes, right? So the thing about being alive though and being here in spite of any of those things is that you're still here. We are still here. And it is intended for you to be here. It is intended for me to be here. We are intended. We have purpose while we're here, right? So releasing any negativity that is associated with our being here so that we can stay grateful for our being here and make our life meaningful. Staying present to giving meaning to every moment that we are here and that we're alive. in spite of. Day two, we did gratitude for health. In our gratitude for health, remember that I said that we're being grateful for the health that we have, for everything that is working, that's functioning, and that's in a good state of being. And then also being intentionally aware about things that are not quite functioning in our body or our systems correctly, and being willing to work on those things, right? So, in our release of the health, any complaints that we have that are associated with anything that is not 100% healthy and functioning in us, we're not going to give heavily into those complaints. Instead, we're going to release any complaints that we have and be grateful of any knowledge and information that we receive in order to be grateful for the help that we do have. So say for instance, if you have like, let's say you have back pain, right? And let's say you're current, in your back pain, right? But even though you have pain in your back, everything else seems to be functioning, right? And in your presence of being grateful for all that is working properly outside of the back pain, it begins to ease up some or whatever, and then you're feeling well, you're feeling better, you get around someone else and someone starts complaining about this going on with them, and then all of a sudden you start going into complaining as well, when at the moment you're not really even feeling that pain as much, or even at that moment at all. Does that make sense? So we're going to work on, now it's definitely not ignoring anything that is in pain or anything that's not feeling good at all. We're not going to ignore it. We're just going to release any complaints that we have associated with it that's holding us down and preventing us from being grateful. So that's day two on health. Day three, one of my exciting ones. I laughed so hard at day three. Being grateful for not slapping the shiznit out of someone. So, what are we releasing in our gratitude for not slapping the shiznit out of someone? Well, one thing that we can release from that gratefulness, not slapping the shiznit out of someone, is we can release any anger, any animosity that has been associated in any moments in the past where we felt like we wanted to knock someone into the next universe, the next century, the next year, the middle of next week. Good evening, peace and blessings to you too, Shiny Cat. Thank you for joining in. So, when you release animosity from you coming close to slapping the shit out of someone, that allows you to be grateful for the growth that you experience from not slapping someone. It's almost just like natural. Like I may need to work on it. It's like just natural though to just like when you talk about it. But we want to release animosity. You want to release anger. Well, you want to just like let it go, and you want to forgive individuals. You want to forgive yourself, and you want to forgive those incidents because you're no longer in that place, right? So day four, we talked about being grateful, the gratitude for our jobs, and I really wanted to touch on this one too. Day four, being grateful for our jobs, because sometimes when we are on in our current situation or we get a new job or new position and you're not even really thinking about your previous employers or anything like that, right? But once again, it's always a conversation, like a conversation is just waiting to happen, to give an opportunity to complain about any place before. So, first of all, looking back on any previous positions or any previous jobs that you had where there were negative experiences, go back instead of complaining about those situations. Go back and just get the lesson from those experiences and from those positions and take those lessons with you. Therefore, you're not complaining, especially with other people on your new job or whatever, going back and using negative references. The thing is, and just let it go. I want us to get to that place to where, as we're continuously being grateful for things, we're just getting a habit of leaving things behind. Like we're just dropping it. We're just, what we're essentially doing? Essentially, we're getting rid of baggage. As we approach the new year, we want to enter the new year with as less baggage as possible. We want to deal with everything that we need to deal with here and then just let it go. And also in our releasing and our being grateful is we're inviting more things into our lives of the things that we're grateful for. We're inviting more of that positive energy, more of the positive spirit, all of that. We're inviting more of that into our lives by being grateful and letting go of the things that we're not. The more we let go of things that are negative and that no longer serve us, the more they get not the more they get away from us and we don't receive any more of it. We're not recycling negative energy that has absolutely no benefit to us. So we're letting go of anything negative that we've experienced with previous jobs, previous employers, previous positions that does not benefit us in talking about them in our current job, in our current life. It just simply does not fit. Day 5 of gratitude was being grateful for our supporters. What we're going to release and being grateful for our supporters, we're going to release anyone and anything, anybody just that we felt like should have supported us where we are now or things that we wanted to do before. We're just we're just going to free them. We're not even going to think about them. Like when you get around people that, whether they're friends, whether they're family members or whatever, when you get around people that should have, you feel like could have shown you more support and could be showing you more support now, and they are not. We're just simply going to release them from that expectation so that we can stay grateful to those who are and those who will be. We're not even going to give it any time of communication like with other people. Say if you have two friends, right? Two mutual friends, and one of your friends is supporting you the way that you want, and another friend is not. Rather than talk about the person that's not supporting you to the other friend, you're not even going to admit, you're just going to be thankful for the fact that they're, first of all, that they're even your friend, right? Just be thankful that you have a friend. And you're not going to talk about at all them not supporting you the way that you think or the way that you expected them to. You're just going to be grateful, always showing gratitude to the one that has. So we're releasing things that do not serve us when it comes to being happy, being joyful, being grateful for our lives, being alive. We're going to release anything that does not serve us and being grateful for our health. We're going to release anything that's not beneficial and serving us, and being grateful for not slapping the shit out of someone, because we have grown from those places. We've grown from those attitudes. We've grown from those reactions, right? We're releasing anything that's not serving us on our jobs, for our job, and we're releasing anything and everything that is stopping us from being grateful for our current supporters and those to come. So that is all for tonight. In releasing, we'll be continuing on. I think this gratitude series might actually be ongoing. Initially, I just wanted to go through December, but I think I'm going to just have it ongoing even past December. So, thank you so much, Spirit of Truth. I appreciate that. Thank you all also for the likes. I appreciate the likes. If you're catching this on the replay, remember to just be grateful. And I thank you also for catching me on the replay. Hello, good evening, Lefford. How are you, hon? And before I get out of here, I'd like to know, Spirit of Truth, I know that you're doing fine. You're watching the game. I have no idea who's playing tonight. Who's playing? Why don't you share with me who's playing in the chat? And Shani Cat and Ledford, please tell me before I get out of here, please tell me how you're doing tonight and how has your weekend been? You're good? Awesome. Vikings versus Seahawks. Vikings versus Seahawks. Seahawks is Seattle, I believe. Vikings. You live in Seattle. Okay, I'm right. Shannon Cat, you're blessed. That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Who are the Vikings? What city or state is are the Vikings? I have no idea. Your weekend was good. That's so good. Hey, sis. Hey, Vonda. Good to see you, darling. Minnesota or the Vikings? Minnesota Vikings. Okay. So if I was going to be watching the game and rooting for anyone, Minnesota. So since I could not remember who the Minnesota Vikings were, I guess I'll be cheering for Seattle. So go Seahawks. Go. Go Seahawks. Sis, Vonda, how has your weekend been? How's your Monday today? And how's your weekend been? My weekend, I'll tell you guys, I had a pretty decent weekend, but for some reason, yesterday, I was actually a little troubled. And my spirit was a little heavy yesterday. It lightened up and got better. I felt a little bit more encouraged after speaking to one of my elders last night. And but overall, I must say I have no complaints about the weekend. Got a lot of organizing accomplished over the weekend. So okay, well, guys, this is not going to be a long stream. I just did a wrap up of day 1 through 5, and also doing talking about release. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that so much, Vonda. So much. Thank you so much. Okay, well, guys, that's going to be a wrap. I might know it's 9:20. Let's see, I might come back later on tonight with a different stream, but probably not. I think I'm just going to chill, go to bed, and do this again. Share what's on my mind later on tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Hey, loves, before we get out of here, I want to remind you all of these things. Number one, that you're handsome, you're beautiful, you are loved, okay? You are loved and you are worthy. Your life makes a difference. You have all that you need and you are more than enough to accomplish the things that you desire to accomplish and to fulfill your purpose. So, with that being said, God bless and I love you. Thank you for allowing me to share an exchange of vibrations and of energy from Texas to wherever you are. Mwah. Good night.